Hello and welcome. This is Rooflemonger, my friends. Today we're talking a little bit of Street Fighter 6. News on Street Fighter 6 has been a little bit sparse lately, but now, thanks to Game Informer, we do know quite a bit more about the third controller scheme for Street Fighter 6. Now, you probably know about classic controls and modern controls. Classic is, well, classic. Modern is an easier interpretation of how to play Street Fighter. And dynamic, well, dynamic's for when you don't even really want to learn the game at all and just want to throw all that to the window and just hit buttons. That's what dynamic controls are. Now, that said, it's not inherently a bad thing. There is no genre of video game more suited to mashing buttons than fighting games. And the dynamic control scheme is basically for exactly that. For the people who are either just don't care and just want to play around, hit buttons, have fun, or you're starting maybe your journey and you just want to see what it's all about. So the thing about the dynamic control scheme is it's pretty much exactly that, dynamic. The button presses change according to the situation. It's not just like auto combos or whatever. Like here, Shuhei Matsumoto is playing on the dynamic control scheme. He's Luke right now. And when you hit buttons, you notice he jumped. Like, he didn't hit up or anything. The button decided, okay, in the context we're in, the jump is the right move to do. So it basically picks and chooses your moves based on where you are, your positioning, what you're doing, what the enemy is doing. That's why it's dynamic. Another way you could phrase this, I suppose, is like autopilot, since it's basically making decisions for you. But the idea here is, once again, for players that are not as versed in the competitive aspects of fighting games, it makes it that you're always doing something kind of cool, right? You're always making what would appear to be a smart decision, as you can see right here. Dynamic control scheme picks up they're doing a move, so we'll drive impact right through the move. Now, as you can tell, that's pretty powerful that the game context decided for you to drive impact through a move and get a punish, right? So that said, the dynamic control scheme is not allowed for online play. You can use it offline versus your friends, yes, but for casual matches, ranked matches, anything to do with online, it is 100% disabled. Basically because of exactly that, situations like that where it's basically auto-punishing for you. That said, however, this third control scheme basically gives you the best entry point possible, and it basically tiers up in terms of skill. So now dynamic, you just got Street Fighter 6, you don't really know what you're doing. Dynamic lets you mash through and lets you do cool stuff. When you're ready to start learning, then you have the modern control scheme, which in a way is still a hand-holding kind of control scheme, but you are still in direct control of your actions, right? So it is assisted, things are easier, sure, but your hands are on the wheel at this point, right? It's not driving for you anymore like dynamic is. And of course, the classic control scheme is the, well, classic Street Fighter experience. So once you're fully control and you fully know what to do, then you can graduate onto that. So yeah, this control scheme exists for people who don't concern themselves with how fighting games work for the most part. They played Street Fighter when they were a kid, they hit buttons, that was it. And you can relive that exact experience with this control mode. This is a good way to get people into the ecosystem, and if they like it, then they can move on to modern, then classic controls, and learn more and go from there. Personally, especially because you can't use it online, which would be sort of frustrating, I think it is a very smart addition to the game. Street Fighter 6 is definitely catering to every level of player for sure. And that's about it. So this footage comes from Game Informer. I'll put the link to their video in the video description if you want to see the full video. One thing to note here, and this is new since we're on the Brazil stage, it would appear if you don't pick Blanca on the Brazil stage, Blanca will be in the background in his Blanca-chan costume, which I think is pretty cool. It's just a little detail, but it's a detail I like. And whenever the round is over, he has a little pose he does, and I think that's Blanca's mom with him, and if so, that's really, really cool. That all said though, my friends, that is the news as it stands. So post in the comments below what you think about the dynamic control scheme, and otherwise, we're at the end of the video, so thank you very much for watching. Hope this video has found you well, and go out and play some Street Fighter.